Welcome to the Gilbert Public Schools Be Well podcast. Here are your hosts and Be Well coaches, Morgan Party and Nick Cornell.
Hi, Be Wellers. It's Morgan and
Nick.
And we have a special guest for our podcast. This is Marilee Garbison. She is a teacher at what school, Marilee?
Canyon Rim Elementary.
And what grade do you teach?
I teach fourth graders.
Awesome. Fourth graders are amazing. So Marilee is going to talk to us about her weight loss journey. She started this, how long ago did you start?
My early 20s.
Okay. So it's been a long process, but that's all right. That's awesome. So what prompted you to begin a weight loss journey?
Well, a few years ago when you guys started Be Well, I was already working toward it. And I thought anything I can do to add support to help me get where I need to be, I'm going to do it. And I like all the different activities. And I thought, okay, if we can inject fun into fitness and weight loss, even better.
Well, awesome, Marilee. We're super proud of you and what you've done and how you've been so committed to our program, and the amount of work you put in has been awesome. What are some of the, when you think back to the journey, and that's so awesome that it's been, since your 20s, what are some things you remember, the highlights of your journey? What are some things that really stick out?
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm going to start this answer to your question with a low note. At the end of the previous school year, I was doing really well. And I'm not talking about last year when COVID ended. And then I had a couple of weird little setbacks. I had some injuries. And I know that a lot of people who participate in sports get injuries. And I had a back injury, and it was frustrating because it uncovered one or two other little physical problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, I'm like, all right, we'll tackle this. But it kind of stopped me cold in my weight loss journey, having to take care of these other little things.
Right.
And they helped me with my back. I attended physical therapy. I was still doing Be Well in the background. And then COVID hit and we all went home. And at the same time, I decided, well, okay, I'm going to do home workouts. And by then my back was doing better and I was released to workouts. And about a month and a half into that, so this was at the end of May, I injured my knee. And because they make you go through a million tests, right, if you can still walk on it, I found out at the end of the summer as school was starting that I had a partial tear in my meniscus and bone on bone in my right knee. And I was so frustrated at the time, but it's always a journey, 2 steps forward, 1 back. Mine was kind of 1 step forward, 3 back, but the never give up thing was big for me. And having the new Be Well program, I really like the kind of the revamped version this year. I like that you can always do wellness. It does keep you motivated to do preventive medicine whenever possible. I like the little challenges we do every month. Because of my knee, I've had to do the alternative sit-up, but I loved the little video that you guys had because I can't, right now with the bad knee, I can't do things that the rest of us take for granted. Can't do squats, can't stand on my tiptoes, can't be in like a push-up position, things like that. And so having modifications for those of us who have temporary setbacks is also appreciated. Thank you.
It's really cool to hear about your journey and things that, that hasn't been easy for you. You've had to overcome a lot. And I think in the end, as you continue to improve your health, it's going to mean that much more to you that you overcame, a lot of adversity. And I totally understand. I've dealt with back issues lately too. And that's one of the most difficult, painful, frustrating, depressing things is to overcome a back issue because it affects everything, sitting, sleeping, everything. So I'm really glad that you got through that. And I know your knee is still bothering you, but keep up the good work. You're doing such a great job.
Thank you.
Marilee, what keeps you going? Like lots of people want to quit. Like it's so easy just to throw in the towel and be like, you know what, forget it. What keeps you motivated to keep going?
It's a lot of different things. I've got a 17-year-old daughter. I've got a husband who just turned 50. And I thought, if I'm going to go into my 50s, it's going to be in the best health I can be. So that's a motivator. One of my current motivators with my knee is that, most surgeries are elective right now if they're not emergency surgeries. And I would kind of like to go into that surgery if it happens this summer at a much lower weight, because that reduces any risks in a surgery for anybody. Another motivator I have, I actually have a list on my phone. I have a little app. It's the Google Notes, the Google Keep app, and I keep a little goal list. Anytime I reach one of my little milestones, I get something. Well, and it's not all weight. The weight ones are fun. The weight ones are like get a massage, stuff that can really feel great, self-care stuff. But I have other ones right now. I'm working toward getting off of Diet Dr. Pepper, which is the best thing on earth and also evil. It also, if you read about things like that, sometimes those slow down your weight loss. And so any little things that I can motivate myself to do and give myself a little prize, I'm all for it. And sometimes prize is like an hour hot bath with Epsom salts where nobody talks to me.
I love it. I love it. That's a great tip too for people that are trying to do the same thing, just giving yourself goals and rewarding yourself, because that's important. Totally.
Well, and can I add on to that?
Yeah.
I think with weight loss, and I have plenty to lose, my weight fluctuated with the injuries. And so I've got to stay positive. If I only focused on the negative and, oh my gosh, the number on the scale, and oh my gosh, this, I'd be a negative Nelly all the time. I'd prefer to be grateful to my body that it works and that it can be healed. I prefer to be grateful rather than the other way. I spent too much of my life kind of kicking myself for not being supermodel. I prefer the alternative. I prefer to stay positive.
Good for you. Well, you are a huge success story for our program. We're so proud of you. And it's funny that when your name came up for this idea, we've talked about your name many, many times. Morgan has brought your name up many, many times. And you're a huge success story for us and our program and our district and the Be Well program. So we just want you to know that you inspire us. You inspire me. I think it's so true that you say that it has to be little things one at a time, and think about the positive, because there's always so much that we can be disappointed in, and things that we can always do better. But I've done the same thing. Like I've set certain little small things. Like one of them is no snacking at night. After bed, 9 o'clock, I'm not going to snack. And I've just attacked that one thing. And so far having really good results. And then as soon as I get that, like you're talking about your Dr. Pepper, I'm going to try something else, and I'm going to chip off something else and just keep working slowly at it. And I think it's just important that we're proud of it, that we're proud of ourselves, and we continue to set goals to improve our health. So thanks for being an inspiration to me and to us and to the whole program.
Thank you.
Yes. And Marilee, I love your positive attitude. And that's what I always tell them, because it's okay to feel bad about yourself or feel bad, but you just can't get stuck there. You gotta find your happy pants eventually.
As educators, we want to lift our kids too. And if we can't do that for ourselves, we got to be the example.
Totally.
Yes. Absolutely.
So one last question. Do you have any tips for Be Wellers that are doing a weight loss journey right now? Do you have anything?
Sure. I have a few. Number one, if you buy produce, cut it up as soon as you walk in the door from the grocery store. You probably won't use it. Number two, if you're going to exercise, do something you love. Right now, what I miss because of the knee is I love hiking, and we have so many great places to hike. But Just Dance, or the video game Just Dance, or whatever floats your boat. Do something that's fun, so that exercise isn't something you dread. And I would advise only working on one bigger thing at a time. So for me right now, I have a Fitbit on, and because of the injury, I'm focusing right now on active minutes. And so I try to get my heart rate up and get those active minutes versus steps, because steps are harder for me. And so right now my active minutes are on an exercise bike or in a pool or things like that, where I can get those minutes without feeling like a failure because I didn't get my 10,000 steps. I can't do that right now. Doctor said no. So what's a fun alternative? What's a goal that you can reach and focus on that?
I love that. And I love that you're making something attainable for yourself, because a lot of times we'll say like you said, make one goal. Because a lot of times you'll be like, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. And then you fail at all three and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, Nick, do you have any other things for Marilee?
No, just thanks again for all you do and for being an inspiration. And I've really enjoyed hearing about your journey, and it's made me think of a lot of different things as well. So we're proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Marilee, thank you so much.
Let's do this again same time next year and you'll see, the cuter version.
Whatever, you're adorable as is. You have a beautiful body and spirit.
Thank you.
All right, Be Wellers. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're listening to this. And as always,
Be well.